So my name is Dante. I run an e-commerce brand. Hi, nice to meet you. Never done the selfie style thing before, so ignore all this. But I run an e-commerce brand, and last month we took it from about 300 grand a month to over $1 million a month. This month, or last 30 days, we're at like 988 grand. We'll be at $1 million a month this month for sure. We just had ad account bans and things like this, but this is, there'll be a different video explaining how I actually did this and what I actually did. I literally clicked like 3 buttons and then my business exploded. Wild. In the other video, before or after this one, you'll see it. I'll show it. There you go. This one, because I'm just kind of out here walking around in the gardens, if you will, just reflecting almost, right? And the main thing I don't even know how to start this, to be honest. It's odd. I've never done this before, but it's like, once you hit a goal, or you set these goals, you have these big goals, right? 5-year, 10-year goals, these big goals that you didn't even know if it was possible to hit them. What happens when you hit it, right? So hitting $1 million a month has been a goal of mine for a long time. I mean, in this specific brand, this is our 3rd year of building it, right? Before that, I was drop shipping and trying e-commerce out since early high school. Like, I've been doing this for a long time now, right? And this $1 million a month goal has been on the pedestal. It's been, I want $1 million a month so bad. This is the goal, right? And now that I hit it, it's like, well, nothing in my life has changed, right? And I don't know if I thought it would subconsciously or whatever, but nothing's changed, right? Like, there's Ferraris didn't spawn. I don't own houses everywhere. There's a lot more money coming in. Don't get me wrong. Like, that's great. But nothing in my life has actually changed. Like, I don't feel any different, any better about myself now that I hit this goal. And because of it, it's almost like a rock top. People talk about rock bottom, but this would be more so a rock top. It's like, I need to figure out why. Like, why am I getting up and working every day to do what now? Right? Like, what's the next big goal? And more importantly than just the monetary goal, which I'm realizing now after hitting this one of $1 million a month, why $1 million a month? Right? Like, cool, $1 million a month, that was the goal. I wanted it. I hit it. Great. What was the point? Now what? What was the point? Right? Now, don't get me wrong. I've been able to do a lot of nice things. Treat my family to cool experiences, help them out with bills when they need some help, whatever, go travel, business, these things are great. And it's all fun and all, and it makes me feel good, but, what is your why? And if you don't have a why behind the goals that you're trying to hit, when it gets difficult or you don't want to do it, or even once you hit the goal, you're then going to be lost, like I kind of am right now, right? Now, this isn't a whole video just to be like, oh, cry me a river, you're doing $1 million a month, so sad, wow. Like, no, don't get me wrong. I'm very grateful. I can't complain. It's all going very well. But when it comes to the motivation and drive, just waking up excited each day, you have to understand the most fun part that I can think of was when I was very, very first starting. Like, no results, no nothing. Like, just starting. Making no money. In fact, just losing money. Just burning all of my money from my Tim Hortons job into ads. Like, that was the most fun by far. Because you were progressing so much, right? Like, for me to grow now, even like this fast growth of 300K a month to like $1 million a month, right? Like, that's great, but you don't feel personally like you're developing as much because you're not, right? Like, the 0 to 80, you develop quickly. The 80 to 85, 85 to 90, 90 to 91, 90 to 92, it's slower, right? Like, the improvements I'm making now are 1% improvements to get ahead of the competition. They're not learning how to make ads that convert, right? Like, I've done that for years now. That's how I've been able to grow the brand. And so, like, what I'm trying to get with this is when you're first starting out and you're hungry and you feel like you're progressing, like, you could just feel it, like you're building the momentum. There's so much momentum moving forward. You're excited with what's to come. That is the most fun part. And if you're in that stage and you're starting out, you're grinding, you're hustling, you're trying to make it work, enjoy it. It's difficult. You're always lost. And I mean, when you get to my spot, by the way, you just feel as lost. I still feel like I have no clue what I'm doing, next steps to take, whatever. I still feel completely lost. That never changes. At least so far for me, it hasn't changed. But enjoy it if that's where you're at. Like, I wish I could go back and experience that. Like, the setting goals, the waking up insanely super early just to go to the gym, and then being super inconsistent but really working on it and trying my best, and then getting there, getting my first sale, first 1K day. That all took me years and years and years to do. But that's the time that feels the most fulfilling, and you are enjoying it the most, to be honest. Like, it's the, I think it's Hormozi who said it, right? But he's like, the goal is to play the game and to keep playing. The goal is not the finish line. You want to just keep playing. And I had this finish line set of $1 million a month. I hit it. Now what? Right? Now what? And so this is where the focus has to change and be like, okay, you know, well, what's the bigger picture? What do I really want to achieve for myself, for others, for the world, whatever? That has to become big picture, and that you got to keep that in the front of your head, brain, whatever, every day. First thing in the morning, first thing before you go to bed, that's got to be what you focus on. I recommend you writing it down. I have a big poster with all my goals, whatever, on my fridge, plastered over there, covers the whole side of the fridge, that kind of stuff. Keep that the focus, and you will hit it. But now the next thing is keeping in mind that the goal is to play. How can you break that major goal? Like, dream big, dream as big as you possibly can. In fact, I think I probably thought too small with the meal a month, because now I'm trying to figure out and think bigger. But think as big as you possibly can, and then how do you break that goal down into steps that are based around the actions you take? Because that's the fun part, the making the progress part, right? So maybe it's doing creative research in the morning, or scripting out new ads, or whatever. But how do you turn that big goal into smaller daily, weekly, monthly goals where you could really feel like you're progressing? And that's what I'm going to be doing this time around, where it's, I had this big goal, I focused on it, and I hit it, which is great. But what's the goal and the motivation behind each week, behind each day? How can I make sure I'm enjoying the process of building? Because the start is the fun part. You're doing everything. You don't know what you're doing. You're trying to figure it out. Now, like, it's boring. I don't enjoy the work as much right now. Maybe this will change in the future, but it's a lot of meetings. It's a lot of management. I'm just managing people. Like, I only have 2 direct reports in the company, and then they have their direct reports under them. It's a small team, but like, once again, I only have to really manage 2 people. They do the rest of the managing. We have cash flow to hire people. I'm not really trying to figure it out on myself. Why would I if I could just pay somebody? And I mean, I don't really enjoy the managing stuff. Like, the fun part is the grinding, the figuring it out, the whatever. I'm sure more of that will come in these next stages of business, and as I try to figure out what those take and what the next steps are to go from 10 a year to 30 a mil to 50 mil a year, whatever, right? These will all be different steps that you have to take along the way and different challenges. And the work changes as you go through. It's just part of the game. I'm making this because if you have a big goal and you're so set on the big goal, that's great, you should be. But really do keep in mind that you are at the fun part right now. As weird as that may sound, because you may be depressed, you may not be happy, you may be broke, making no money. Like, you are in the part that is the most fun when it comes to business, by far. And at least every person I've talked to so far who's reached 8 figures, who's reached 9 figures, they always say the same as well. So this is just a bit of a rant explaining where I'm currently at with the recent scale. But yeah, we're doing about $1 million a month. I'm gonna go do some traveling now, move to Toronto for a bit, go to Spain first, move around, celebrate a little bit like that, which will be fun. But the past few weeks, to be completely honest with you, once again, when I say I hit this major goal, and once you hit a big goal, the motivation falls off a cliff. It falls off a cliff. Like, it was cool for like a day, 2 days, and then the last month and a half has just been fixing problems and trying to get the new setup in place and figure out where we need to be. And it's just been a whole bunch of like chaos. I'm trying to figure out what the new setup is, fixing the problems that came up, whatever. And now that it's there, and I finally have time to just breathe. Like, I only really have 2 hours, not even, of work a day for me to do. Like, the team does most of it. I'm just managing, whatever, right? I don't have that much to do. So a lot of free time now. And it's hard to find the motivation to like dig deeper. What's the next steps? How we grow this thing further? I think I'm getting there. This is just, think big. $1 million a month was way too small. You don't want to hit a goal, get there and be like, okay, well, what's next, right? If you do think what's next, think even bigger. Because if you get to the goal and you're like, well, what now? That's where the kind of loss of motivation comes from, at least in my experience. Because it's, you hit the goal, your life didn't change, you feel the same about yourself, you look the same, whatever, right? But you hit this major goal that you thought would completely change your life, and it doesn't, which is fine. Because I'm still making progress in life, and by hitting the goal, I made progress to get here. I just forgot to enjoy the progress I was making along the way because I was so focused on the $1 million a month. And now that I hit the $1 million a month, it's like, how do I go back to enjoy the work of me getting to $1 million a month? Does that make sense? Hopefully it's making sense. Maybe it doesn't for the stage that you're at, but if I could go back, I would enjoy it some more. The struggle of it, for sure. Because I woke up every day frustrated for not at $1 million a month. And now I'm here. Money's nice, do some travels, whatever. But the fulfilling part is waking up every day excited to do what you want to do. And that's what I'm getting back to now. Like, the last 2 weeks have just been me ripping League of Legends straight in my fucking basement. Like, that's it. Like, I took my little celebration after all the chaos to just do nothing. And now it's, you know, what's the next steps? And so my biggest recommendation, think big even bigger than you could possibly imagine. Focus on that goal every single day, but break that goal down into smaller goals if you can, into different actions that you can take daily so that you accomplish something and you're proud of yourself every day, that you can enjoy that along the way. Okay, so that's that. Hopefully this was useful. No clue, I'm just out here ranting, to be honest. Look for the other video before this, after this, sometime soon. Zero clue about how I actually did this, because I literally changed like 3-4 settings. Boop. Mil a month. So with that being said, adios.